quality of life. It helps to build resilience, you build a community, you build good relationships, you figure out how to really just regulate your emotions, that sort of thing, early before it becomes harder. Make sense? You guys with me? Yeah? You guys can talk, you know. All right, so here are some strategies that you can use for prevention. The first is a lifestyle choice. And so regular exercise, proper diet, and good sleep. This is what we're going to target today. And I wish I could talk to you about so much more. If you want a part two, maybe, shout out. But this is the foundational part to having a healthy mind, body, and all that stuff, right? So the second is mental fitness, mindfulness, stress management, and building emotional resilience, right? If you can handle and cope with your emotions and your stress, you're off to a good start. And then social support. Getting open about your problems, talking to friends, finding professional help and other resources to help you through challenges. Listen, even though we all smile, even though we all put on a mask in the front, everybody's got problems, okay? So just be kind to one another and be willing to help each other out, right? You have to do this together. And then lastly, education and awareness. Learn about the resources we have. We heard about the 9889, right? There's so many videos and talks and all these things happening to give you the resources to combat mental health issues, right? So that is how we prevent. Now I want you guys to start breaking the stigma of mental health. I want you guys to start talking about it, and so I'm going to ask you guys to participate right now. It might be a little vulnerable, you might have to get a little transparent, but this is for the good of beating mental health. Okay, so have you ever felt so overwhelmed that you couldn't do anything? If that is true for you, just raise your hand. Awesome, imagine that. Okay, I want you guys to just kind of hold your hand up, even if the next ones don't apply to you. Have you ever had a strong sense of sadness to something that didn't seem as significant, but it was like a big deal in your mind? Okay. Have you felt like people don't understand what you're going through? Okay. And have you tried to go get over something, but even though you knew, it just was hard to get over it, the feelings were still lingering? And then lastly, have you ever felt anxious about a situation even after you've been reassured time and time again? Right? So if you look around, you'll see that pretty much everyone's hand is up, right? This is to tell you and to show you that you are not alone, okay? It is so important to talk, find someone you can trust and talk to them. Because when you talk about your problems, it actually is a form of therapy that helps you cope with these feelings, right? So just remember that and help each other out. So this concept is fully functioning is like this analogy of a car, okay? Holistic health has 8 different pillars. And I don't want to like geek out on you right now, but I want you guys to know that there's 8 different aspects of health. And so to be your healthiest, happiest self, you need to be strong and thriving in each of the 8 pillars. So there's spiritual health, there's mental health, emotional health, even financial health, environmental health. Like that was a new one for me. I was like, okay, gotta work on that one. But there's so many pillars, right? Today we're gonna tackle 3 of them, but it's really important that you are mindful and intentional about each of those, right? And so, imagine in a car you have an engine. The engine is your brain or your mind, right? So the engine is the control center. This is what gets you to where you need to go, makes all the decisions. It is the source. And if this engine is ruined, the car won't go anywhere, right? And so it's so important you take care of your mind. You want your emotions in check and everything running smoothly, okay? The next is the tires. That represents your body. If a tire is not working, if you pop a tire, you're only rolling around on 3 tires, you're not going to get far, right? So it's so important that you take care of your body, that you nourish your body, that you do certain things to keep it going well, because this is how you engage with the world, right? Just like a car getting anywhere, this is what your body is used for. So you want a smooth ride, and a healthy tire, like a healthy body, means that you'll get places and do the daily activities that you need to, right? And then lastly, fuel. Fuel is food, right? Food might taste good, but the whole purpose of it is to fuel your body. So you want to make sure that, like a car needs specific fuel, you need to also have proper fuel, good nutrients for your body. And so that affects your performance, right? And so you want to make sure that the quality of the food that you're eating helps to up the quality of your health. And so, where are my Benz, my Beamers, and my expensive cars, where are they at? Right? What do you guys? Got Hondas? What are we doing? I love Hondas. I actually drive a Honda. But the point is, the premium gas is what those cars will drive around on. If you put inexpensive gas or like the regular gas, it will not work. And so the same goes for your body. It's the type of fuel you put in your body that is what's going to carry you further and faster. Okay? Are we following? We good so far? Yeah? All right. So, nourish your brain, maintain your body, and fuel with the right foods so that you can keep everything running and reach peak efficiency. So, food for thought. How nutrition shapes your brain. Okay, so your brain is mainly water. So, who thinks they drink enough water? Yeah? Have you ever gotten thirsty lately? Just at all? Yeah? If you get thirsty, that means that you're dehydrated. So if you ever feel thirsty, that means you're not drinking enough water. So imagine that. You should be drinking so much that you don't get thirsty. So if there's a key thing to leave here from with, it's drinking more water. It's good for your body. Your body consists of mainly water. For your gut, for your mind. Okay? This guy is telling you to drink more water. All right. The next up is the fats, the lipids, right? So this is what most of your brain is made of. And this is why fat is so important. I know this is like sciencey, but I'm breaking it down so you know what you should be eating so that you can nourish your brain properly. So next is proteins and amino acids. This is like the building blocks for growth, okay? Then we have micronutrients and glucose, which is the main source of energy for your body. These components impact function, mood, and energy. So the role of fats. These are good fats. We have omega-3 and omega-6. Have you guys heard of those? Is that familiar? Yeah? Awesome. So essential fatty acids, this is what the omega-3s and 6 are. And they are what protects your brain. They actually are the double layer of the membrane of your brain. Okay? So it's so important to have these fats in your brain to keep a healthy barrier for your brain. And the source for these, you can find them in fish. A lot of fish. Salmon, sardines, all of that good stuff. So, do you guys eat fish? Yeah? Regular basis? That's good. Good. If you don't eat fish, a plant-based option are chia seeds, soybeans, and walnuts. Okay? So we got you covered. I put chia seeds in my smoothies every day. Just throw them in, you don't even taste them, and like bam, superfood right to the brain. Okay? And then lastly, you can always supplement with fish oil, like you can get the capsules, krill oil, and algae oil. Okay? Omega-3 is vital to your health, to your brain health. So another thing, drink water and omega-3s, right? The recommended daily amount is 1 to 3 grams a day. So if you don't feel like you're eating enough fish and doing all that, try supplement. A well-nourished body and brain is better able to withstand ongoing stress and recover from illness quicker. So bad fats. Who knows what these are? These are trans and saturated fats, okay? So these are the hamburgers, pizzas, fries, all the stuff that we probably are eating on a regular basis. This is basically what you need to know is it's artificial and it causes inflammation in your body. And that is very bad for your gut, for your brain, for your overall health, okay? It impairs neural communication and cognitive function, and it raises bad cholesterol for the physical health, okay? So you really want to not do this because when it restricts blood flow and oxygen to the brain, it can impact your mental health. Make sense? Yeah? Okay. So proteins and amino acids, they're good for growth and all that stuff. Really and truly, it affects your moods, your sleep, and your behavior. So for example, when you're feeling calm after you eat a pasta, that's because of the energy in the protein. And when you're feeling really alert after a high protein meal, that's another example of how proteins can impact your brain. Micronutrients. So these are all of the antioxidants and minerals and all those little nutrients that nobody really talks about. But this is found in fruits and vegetables. This is why everybody tells you to eat your fruits and veggies. Your parents are not lying to you. This is really good stuff, okay? So this is what protects your brain cells from free radicals. Who knows what a free radical is? Yeah? Yeah, I'm gonna test you. What's a free radical? Free radical are the cells, like they're cells that attack your body and they destroy your body, and they're actually like cancer cells. Okay, so those are not good. We don't want those. We want them to be eradicated. Okay, so vitamin B6, 12, folic acid, all really good and really healthy. They help prevent your mental decline or help prevent you from mental disease. Okay, so again, supplements, if you're not eating a whole rounded diet, these are really good for you. Minerals, all that good stuff, crucial for your brain health and cognitive wellness. Okay, healthy food equals a thriving brain. Can you guys say that with me? Healthy food equals a, oh guys, come on. Healthy food equals a, okay, awesome. We're here. Okay, energy. What you need to know about carbohydrates is that there's two types, simple and complex. And the difference between the two is one releases energy, like the sugar, the glucose, into your bloodstream very fast. And the other releases it steady and slow. This is why all the healthy carbs are not tasty, but they're really good for your blood sugar. It will give you like a steady flow of energy so you can stay alert and be attentive, and you don't have to worry about the crash, the midday crash. Do you guys ever get tired in the middle of the day? Yes? No? You guys are young. Yeah, a little bit? Okay, so that's what happens when you fuel your body with the simple carbs. Later on, you get tired because that energy starts to drift off, okay? So this is a brain-fueling diet, a nutrient-rich, balanced diet, and it's key to brain health. So these food choices that you make directly affect your life. It affects your health. It affects your mental health as well, right? Your brain function, your mood, and your energy levels. So it looks like whole foods. Who knows what whole foods are? I want to make sure you guys know. Can someone give me an example of a whole food? Really? Okay, good. This is why I'm here. All right. Vegetables. What else? Yeah? Meat, yes, good. Lean proteins, that sort of thing. That's on there. What else? Fruits, nuts, seeds, and proteins. Awesome, thank you. So, food is not cheap, okay? Doesn't matter what McDonald's is telling you, food is not cheap. So you either pay for it at the register, or you pay for it later on in your health, okay? Keep that in mind. Somebody's got to pay something, all right? So this is a brain-damaging diet. Sugar. Okay, the next key component from today's talk. Sugar is literally poison. I hate to break it to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, get it? But sugar is really toxic to our bodies. And guys, I want you to know that I am not judging you guys at all. Like, I'm here. Like, this talk is for me too. I was doing research and I'm like, I gotta check my sugar intake, right? So this doesn't mean that you can never have sugar again. But if you are having a whole food diet, well-rounded, having the sugar wouldn't be so impactful, if that makes sense, okay? So sugar is found in obviously candy, soda, all those sugary drinks. Who likes Starbucks? Yeah, Starbucks. Yeah, right? Those are so high in sugar calorie content, right? So we want to make sure that we don't just drink it very quickly and take up all the sugar for our day, right? Breakfast cereals. You guys have cereal in the morning? No? Okay, good, because a lot of them are very high in sugar. So a lot of people don't realize and they think like, oh, this is what we ate as children. No. Breakfast cereals are a big no. There are some healthy ones, but they usually don't taste good, so keep that in mind. Processed foods, anything that is packaged. Meats are also like another big processed food, and those like snacks that you get. Here's a little tip. If you're grocery shopping, probably you guys are not grocery shopping, but it'd be good to help your parents out. If you end up going to the grocery store, if you walk on the outside of the store, that is where you'll find most of the whole foods, the fresh foods. If you go to the center, on all of those shelves, processed foods. So a note a note to self, whenever you're grocery shopping, try to stay on the outside of the stores. Make sense? Can I get a yeah? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Refined foods, okay? those. We want to stay away from those things. They will really damage your brain, okay? No. See? It's not good. And this is Mr. Gut over here. These are like a big gut punch, okay? It damages your gut, very, very, very toxic to the gut. And the gut is your second brain, okay? So the gut is so vital to your health because it basically regulates so much in your body. So if there's an imbalance in your gut, it disrupts your hormones, it disrupts your serotonin production, which is basically, not to get too sciencey, but it's a neurotransmitter. And serotonin levels can lead to anxiety and depression if they're not regulated properly, right? So has anyone ever struggled with or know anyone that has struggled with anxiety or depression? Right? This is such a big thing in today's society, and it's so overlooked. So we really need to do as best as we can to take our gut health seriously. Inflammation, right? This is really bad for our overall health, and what it can do is also increase the risk of mood disorders. Gut issues, stress on the gut, and basically leaky gut. These are all things that, if you don't eat well, it can impact your gut. It can make tears in your gut lining, and it causes harmful things to go into your bloodstream, into your body. And so overall, it's just not good for your health. Cool? Can I get a thumbs up? We're following? Yeah, it's a lot of stuff, so this is good. All right, the impact of gut health. We want to increase, it increases the risk of anxiety and depression if you don't have good gut health. Poor focus and memory, heightened stress response, and increase of likelihood that you will have sleep disturbances, like insomnia, and just like really restless sleeps. So how do you support your gut health? Eat a diet that's full of fiber, pre and probiotics. So things like yogurt, kimchi, anything that's fermented. There's like the milk, what's that, kefir milk. All these things are really good to promote the good bacteria in your gut. You want to minimize sugar, stay hydrated, manage stress, and exercise, okay? And so the next part is talking about sleep. So we kind of got nutrition down. There's two things physically that we really need to do well in order to allow our mental health to thrive. So sleep is one of them. Who would say they get a good amount of sleep? No? Yeah? Kind of? Okay, who gets 8 hours of sleep every night? Okay, that's good. 7? 6? 5? Oh dear. Okay, we gotta work on that. So we need to have at least like 6 to 8 hours of sleep for proper cognitive function. Some of you are adapted, but that is not good because long term it will have effects on you. So sleep plays a vital role in regulating your emotions. Unfortunately, we didn't get to hear Lori's talk on managing emotions, but this is so key to your mental health. It's a key to how you just interact, your relationships, and all that sort of thing. So it's way more important than you really realize. So it helps you manage stress, anxiety, and your mood. Processing information strengthens your memory and consolidates your learning. So all of this we're talking about today, when you're sleeping, your mind is going over and helping you understand these things and like really connect the dots. So it's really important to have a good rest. Rest and recharge. When you sleep, your brain clears out all of the junk that has been processed during your wakeful period. Okay, so it's so important that you give your brain time to just wash everything over and basically give you a fresh start in the morning. So some parts of sleep, there's different cycles, but REM sleep, who knows what REM sleep is? Yeah, can you answer that? Rapid eye movement, awesome, good job. So rapid eye movement is the type of sleep where your eyes are moving very quickly, but within that sleep, it is a time where you are actually regulating your mood. It is a time where your creativity, like it enhances your creativity, and it improves your response to fear. So it's important that you actually have a lot of REM cycles so that you can thrive. And so poor REM sleep is actually associated with an increase in mental health disorders. So it's super important that you get your sleep. So how can you build a better sleep routine? So with creating a sleep routine, you want to make sure that you're going to bed and waking up at the same time, because that will regulate your internal body clock. Okay? So if you're all over the place, it can really do damage on your sleep, or on your body, sorry. You want to limit your screen time. Who's on their phone within an hour before bed? Yeah, yikes. Okay, this blue light exposure stimulates your mind and it makes it very hard for your mind to rest, even if you feel tired. So it's so important that if you can cut off your phones right before bed, an hour before bed, you will actually have so much better of rest, and you'll see the impact of it the more that you implement that. Okay, so there's another big tip is trying to regulate that. Okay, exercise regularly. Who would say they're in the gym at least 3 times a week? Okay, good. That's awesome. So the amount, actually we'll talk about that after, but it promotes deeper and more restful sleep. But you want to make sure that you're not doing vigorous activities too close to bedtime, because that will boost your mood, your body, and you'll end up being more alert and have more energy. Okay. And then you want to create a sleep-friendly environment. Cool, dark, just relaxing environments. That is what you want to have so that you can have your good sleep, okay? If you need to, you can utilize relaxation techniques. So having a bath, reading a book, mindfulness, all those things to kind of unwind, okay? All right. The last thing when it comes to your health is having a good exercise routine, okay? So exercise can improve your mental health by reducing stress. Does anyone ever go to the gym and say, like, this is my therapy? Like gym therapy, like this is physical therapy? Not physio, but physical therapy, right? That is one of the things that, for me, helps me to, like, get a jump start on my day, boost my mood. I get so much more, I use energy, so I'm more productive and motivated to conquer the day, right? So it's so important. It enhances your moods. It boosts your self-esteem. You ever just, like, get a good pump and you're like, yeah, I did that. This is good, right? You look in the mirror like, okay, I'm getting stronger. I'm hitting my goals. That self-esteem helps to just kind of build a cycle on doing things over and over and build consistency. It increases your energy levels, and it helps, obviously, if you feel good about yourself, you look good, mentally it's going to be good, and then you'll have the energy as well. It improves your sleep, alleviates symptoms of anxiety and depression, healthy blood flow to the brain. Again, remember, blood carries oxygen. The brain is made up of mostly water. It needs a lot of oxygen, okay? So we want to get our blood flow going and our hearts pumping. It promotes self-discipline and personal development. Personal development is like a whole other talk. So I won't even get into it, but just know that the best thing you can invest in is yourself, okay? A lot of us will spend a lot of money on things, but the best investment you can make is on yourself, okay? And then social connections are critical, because loneliness exacerbates physical and mental health. So getting into the gym, finding a gym buddy, finding a soulmate, finding someone who's going to hit the goals and achieve things and keep you accountable is key, right? So how do you start? 30 minutes a day for 5 days a week. That's it. You can just go on a walk for 30 minutes, a little brisk walk, power walk, that one, yeah. You can do that, that's all you need for the week. Small steps, intentional steps. Find something that's fun, find something that works for you. Kickboxing, dance workouts, rock climbing, just get active, right? Figure it out, find your accountability, and then give yourself grace. It's okay if you miss a day. Just try not to miss another one. And it's okay if you do. Just keep getting back on track. Every decision you make is a decision to become the man or the woman that you want to be, right? So you have the option to choose. Do I want to make a poor life decision? Do I want to eat something that's not healthy? Do I want to miss a workout? Or do I want to become the person that is thriving in my health? Do I want to make go the extra mile so that I can be healthier down the line? If it's easy now, it will be harder in the future. But if it's harder now, it will be easier in the future. Does that make sense? If it's easier now, it will be harder in the future. But if it's harder now, it will be easier in the future. Awesome. So here are just 10 simple steps that you can use to improve your health. Actually, let me ask you guys, who remembers some of the stuff we talked about? What are some things that we talked about? Some key things I mentioned. Yeah. Exercise, yes. Eating healthy. What is something that we really need for our brain? Yeah. Water, yes. Fats. What type of fats? Okay, that's not fair. You know. What type of fats? Anyone remember? Yeah. Omega-3 and 6. Specifically 3. A lot of times we get a lot of 6, but 3 is the one that is missing a lot. Good. Anyone else? There's 10 of them up there. Antioxidants, the micronutrients. Basically, I just told you all that breakdown so you knew that your brain needs all of those things. Your brain needs a full, whole diet, right? Did you have your hand up? No? Okay. Yeah? Vitamins, yes. Take supplements. So I think you guys covered them all. Oh, and sleep, right? 7 to 8 hours. Ideally, try to make a consistent effort. Oh, and cut back on sugar, right? But if you're eating healthy, then you're cutting back on sugar. So less processed foods, less sugar, more omega-3, drink water, take supplements, 30 minutes of exercise, find your accountability, and have fun. All right? Thank you guys so much. Just know that when you fuel your mind, you fuel your life. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are we able to switch the presentation? What if we do this while we do wait for this to be set up? In terms of, we'll do a gift or a prize. Is there a question you want to ask them that they can answer? Take out your phones. Go on TikTok. So I need to tell you where to go. CARION, F as in fabulous, ENN, at Carion Fenn. Is there a question that you want to put to them? The first person to answer the question right will get gift card? Yeah? Okay.
Not for this one, because we have to, it's the first person to, this is just a TikTok. There's other ways to actually get a prize. This is just a TikTok session that we're doing. So there's other ways that we will do. We'll implement other ways that you get a chance to be able to answer that are physically here. It's just a TikTok challenge that we've been doing for the youths who are on TikTok.
All right.
Okay? Okay.
You ready?
Ready?
What is one way to increase your omega-3 that is a plant-based option?
Annie said chia seeds.
Chia seeds. Ding, ding, ding. Well done.
Was that it? Who's that it?
Annie.
Who?
Annie.
Annie. Oh, that's you? Oh. Sorry.
You want to come get it?
Let's do another one. Let's do another one. Go on your TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. Next question.
What is the crucial part of the sleep cycle that helps with creativity and motivation? I don't get the short form. I want the real form.
Oh, she's strict.
Ooh. Big time.
Anybody know? Ron?
Nishka said Rem.
You said what? Oh, that's
What
it.
is REM? Awesome job. Well done. Yes, collect your prize.
You get a lot of gift cards, eh?
Tis the season.
One more.
Yeah, let's do it. What is the main energy source for your brain? It's a type of nutrients.
Audrey said rat. Oh, never mind.
Audrey said what?
Nothing. I said never mind.
Oh, I said it before.
Audrey said glucose.
Audrey.
Glucose, very good. Yes,
Get it?
glucose, correct. Good job, girl. Yes. Right.
I think that deserve a PlayStation card. What, a PlayStation or an EB game? A PlayStation?
Congratulations.
Let's do one more and then we'll switch to this presentation.
Okay. What is one thing that exercise does to improve your mental health? It's easy. There was like 10 options. Oh, see these lines there.
Oh, I guess there's other people who are not on TikTok, eh?
Everyone's feeling a little left out.
Army said energy.
Yes, increased energy.
Who said energy?
Yes, good job.
Who did?
Congratulations.
Which one would you like? EB games?
Thank you so much. So after the next presentation, we'll also do the same thing. We'll give away some prizes. We also have the earbuds and other prizes that we will give away. Just as a note, who has the form? So there is a form that everyone qualifies to fill out. It's the $500 award. If you can make sure that you fill it out before you leave. Do you have it? Okay. So there's some on the table over there. So if you can fill it out before you go and then give it to us. One person will be selected for the $500. That being said, let's move to the next presentation, which is the influence of posture on mental health. I'm so happy to have him here. He's a teaching doctor, a speaker, a TV personality, all of the above. Now he's not going to be able to walk through the room. Dr. Ian Horseman from the Posture Clinic.
How's everyone tonight? That was a great presentation, by the way. So you actually took a lot of my thunder away. What I'll do is I'll just add a few things to that maybe you didn't know as well, and we'll just have some fun. So tonight I thought, just because it's hard to sit there, we're gonna make my portion will be a little more interactive. So you're not just we can spirit. But when we do our breakout over there, if you're interested and you want to get tested or see stuff, we can work on each other. We'll have some fun. So my topic really has changed a little bit, and what I want to talk about is things that we can do to help your mental health. Okay, it dovetails beautifully with that. But I'll talk about some very simple things, and I'll talk about very, very specifically to anxiety and depression, since that's what this group really is here for. I would say the foundation, the Mayor's Son, obviously, and I think that it would be good to talk about that. So, firstly, what I want to sort of talk about is a lot of brain injury, a lot of mental health issues happen from brain injuries. How many people in here have had a concussion? Okay, so concussions are pretty common, and concussions happen primarily from two sources. And for younger people, it's primarily sports. Okay, certain sports are much higher in concussions. And can anybody guess which kind of sport might be higher in concussion? Football, yeah. Number one, ding, 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 football. 40% of all players will get a concussion during the year playing football. So it's a very, very high. It's the highest by a long shot. And unfortunately, the only thing that we know that can help prevent concussion in sports, there's some minor research saying that if you wear a mouth guard, that helps. But the best thing you can do is strengthen your neck. Okay, so strengthening your neck actually helps to prevent concussion because it sort of helps to absorb the shock going up into your brain. Okay, And awareness, of course, in sport is also important. If you don't know something's going to hit you, it's much more likely to get injured. Does that make sense? So when you know it's coming, what do? Somebody's going to hit you, what are you going to do? What's your instinct? You're going to shell up, you're going to go into a turtle, you're going to hopefully protect yourself. And that helps, that protection that you pre-fire your muscles in your neck and pre-fire the muscles in your body helps to absorb the hit and less goes into your head. Make sense? So in our clinic, we spend a lot of time helping people with their posture because posture helps to restore the curves in your neck and that helps your neck get stronger. So in a way, my talk was on posture, but I'm going to deviate from that a little bit. Again, I'm going to focus a little bit more. The other culprit is car accidents. We see a lot of accidents. Most of us will be in a car accident in our lifetime, and I don't think there's very many cases of a minor car accident. Most car accidents are pretty devastating. Now, what's the fastest you think people run? This is the way I like to explain it to insurance companies, lawyers, other doctors. What's the fastest humans run? The answer is around 18 kilometers an hour. How fast do your cars go? A little bit more than 18 kilometers an hour. So when you get in a car accident, your body is prepared and able to handle roughly 18 kilometers an hour. Does that make sense? Because that's about how fast we can run. Anything over that speed has the potential of causing a lot more damage because you see, you're not designed for that. Okay? Does this make sense? So that's why car accidents over 18 kilometers an hour is very difficult for the spine because our bodies are not prepared and don't have a way of protecting you from them. Accidents happen very, very quick. They happen in less than, most accidents happen between 0.18 and 0.22 seconds. So your muscles, by the way, take 0.35 seconds to fire. You see a problem with that. If you don't know it's coming and you get hit, you see what happens is the muscles can't fire and protect you fast enough. The damage is already done. Okay? The faster the speed, the more likely you're going to get injured. Okay? Now remember with a car accident too, if I'm going, this is going to physics and I don't want to get anybody freaked out here, but if one car is going 25 and the other car is going 25, what's the force factor there? Double, it's 50. So now it's 50 kilometers an hour. Do you think that you might have some injury with that? And yes, you can have it in your spine and create a whiplash and a back injury. But what I'm seeing more and more is accidents, and they injure the brain, and if it's left untreated, you get into concussion, and then that definitely can turn into anxiety and depression. Very, very high numbers. So when I'm treating my patients, some of the highest things that we see is insomnia. People don't sleep well once they get concussions. Okay? You don't sleep, your brain's not functioning well. There's a lot of good points there in the presentation earlier because sleep is critical. You have to have REM sleep, okay? Now there's another thing that I'll talk to you about over there. But one of the things you can do to help with sleep, okay, is you're all really good with phones. So I'm going to get you to download something for tonight's sleep, okay? So what you do is you go on YouTube, Spotify, any of those, and find something called binaural beats. That means 2 beats. And look up something called theta music, theta binaural beats. And start listening to that before you go to sleep. Okay? You don't need to please don't use earphones and earbuds, don't do that. Just have it in the room, just playing really soft. Pick music that you like, it's not annoying. I wouldn't have like pounding music, you want something soothing. It can have waves crashing. But what it does is it starts to put your brain into theta wave, which is the wave that creates the REM sleep. And it starts to get your brain ready for sleep. So if you're having trouble sleeping, that's a real simple thing to do. And when you wake up in the morning, and you're having one of those mornings where you can't get moving, if any of you are struggling with getting up and feeling restful and you're ready to go, then I recommend you do alpha music. So you look up alpha binaural beats, and that will get your brain working and get you more active, more alert. And what alpha is your main brain communicator, and it gets you ready to go. And those are 2 simple things you can do. Can anybody listen to some music in the morning before you get going? Now, I don't mean you have to sit there and listen to it. You just simply have it playing in the background. Put it on your phone, turn it on, and find something you like and start playing that music. And what it will do, it will get your brain firing and ready for the day. And what you're doing is you're getting that sleep and wake cycle moving. What happens with concussions and brain injuries is that there's not really a distinct shift from sleep to awake, so you do both at the same time. You know, you're constantly daydreaming, it's hard to focus, hard to concentrate, your moods aren't great because you need to have that firing well. And when your brain doesn't sleep well, you raise lots of mental health issues. Your brain gets very anxious, and if you leave it too long, anxiety turns into depression. You give it long enough. And we need to start dealing with that. And these are some very simple things. So my job tonight is simply to give you some simple things you can do at home that don't cost anything, right? That can make a big difference for you. And everybody, it doesn't matter if you're having a brain injury, does everybody sleep at night? And some of you don't sleep as well as you should, so those things will help. If you sleep great, but maybe when you wake up you don't feel rested and you're still tired. Or most people are tired all the time, so getting some alpha music in the morning can really make a difference, okay? Now, because we're going to talk about concussions very briefly here, I just want to talk about left brain and right brain. Because you see, when you injure your brain, we have two halves of our brain, okay? And it's connected by the corpus callosum. It's connected by tissues that basically allow the brains to communicate really well. And the left brain and right brain, there's lateralization. So it's a fancy word for saying there's sidedness. So your left side of your brain primarily is for logical thinking. So for those of you who watch Star Trek, that's your Spocks of the world, or Sheldons, right? The left side of people. It's about logic, analysis, linear, math, verbal, factual, sequential. It's the fact. The left brain is also the dope part of your brain. It's the dopaminergic part. It's the part that your brain fires when you want to do something and make a decision and actually do it. So let's say you get a concussion and you injure your left side of your brain, okay? You'll get into some problems with some of these things. So when people come into my office after having a bad concussion, let's say from a sports injury, and I realize they're having troubles reading, or they're having troubles remembering things, or they're having troubles in math or whatever subject, and we can sort of understand what part of the brain is being injured, and then we can come up with treatments to focus our energies on the left side, right? Does that make sense? So we know what's injured, and then we can actually help it. But here's a big one for this group, and for this society here. The left side of the brain is where, when it's injured, is usually the cause of depression. The number one is usually the right side is firing too much, and the left side is being depressed. So we see less activity in the brain when you're depressed. Okay? So that's something that we should be targeting if somebody has depression. So I'm going to go over a few of those things that you can do to help your left brain feel better. On the right side of your brain, that's sort of your creative side, that's your artistic side, that's your humanistic side, that's your emotional side. And that's the serotonin side of your brain, okay? That's your happier side. It's the side that, you do a lot of you do a lot of things and you think about things a lot from your right side of your brain. And both sides are important, and we, of course, use both sides all the time. But again, if you get an injury on your right side of your brain, and the right side brain activity goes down as a result, that usually will come as creates anxiety. So left side of your brain is depression, right side is anxiety. Now that's very general. Okay, there is some communication between both, but in our clinics, that's what we find. Okay? And I've treated thousands of concussion cases, so I kind of know what I'm talking about there. So we want to talk about things you can do to target your brain. And the one thing you should understand about your brain is that it's designed so that this is called the homunculus, and it's kind of a gross picture, I know. But what you're looking at here is how much representation from each body part your brain pays attention to. What's the biggest part of here, like from the size point? What do you see the most of? What's the biggest? And I'm looking at the body parts on the top. What's the biggest there? Face, yes. So your brain pays attention mostly to your vision, your hearing, and your smell. Okay? Your vision, hearing, and smell. So that's what I'm going to say to you to use some really simple things. So let's go back, and I'm going to give you some tips here. Sorry. So the tips are, if my left brain is down, if I've been injured, or I'm having depression, and I want to fire my left brain up, you can do a couple of things. The first thing is, and Carion talked about this, you can put peppermint oil or any kind of oil in your nose that has a smell. So you can use your smell. And the smell is on the same side, so I'm going to put it in my left nostril. Okay? Smell is the only, they call it the pure sense. It's the only sense that doesn't cross over in the body. It goes straight from your left nose into your left frontal lobe, the left side of your brain. So if I want to influence the left side, I put the peppermint on my left nostril. And you just put it right up there. And what it does is it will help to stimulate that part of your brain and helps to pick up whatever's been injured or that's not functioning properly. Make sense? We can also use music. Okay? So you're already listening to music, I know. So what you can do is, if I want to target the left side of your brain, what you should be doing is listening to the music a little bit more on your right ear. Now, don't do 100%. So don't ever do 100% on your right, nothing on your left. The brain doesn't like that. It's annoying as heck. Okay, so if you have a TV, it has speakers, right? You can go to the speakers and just put them on the left, on that right side of your speakers. 60% is my recommendation. So you put 60% on the left. I mean on the right for your left brain. Sorry. And then lastly, you can use vision, of course. So you can look at things more using more your right eye. So you can do things where it's on the right side. Okay. You can read on that side. You can have the screen slightly on that side. All those things are going to promote that side of your brain, the left side, to get more nourishment, if you will, more stimulation. That's how it works. Okay? So those are some real simple tips that anybody can do at home, because you can look at your computer screen, you can look at your phone, and if I'm looking at my phone and I want to stimulate my left side, I can simply put it in my right hand. How easy is that? Okay? There's a couple other things you can do, and that's to understand that the brain crosses over everything except for smell. So I could also use my left hand. I could use my right hand if I'm trying to go to the left side of my brain. I could draw with my right hand. I could do pictures. I can draw with my right foot. I can do complex motions with my right hand or my right foot. And we give people these exercises, and when they do that unilateral stimulation of the body on the right side stimulates the left side of the brain. How easy is that? So I get people to draw with their hand opposite of the side that we're trying to help. And this simple stuff I'm using with professional athletes, it's amazing because they're very, very highly tuned, and yet you can give them these simple things, and all of a sudden the brain starts to balance. And when the brain balances, the person feels a lot better. When your brain's out of balance, it's not a good thing. It's not a happy thing. That's why concussions are so bad, because they don't injure the brain evenly. They always injure it more one side than the other. Okay? And that's what we have to deal with. So those are just some very quick tips to do to help you with that. Okay? We've already talked today about the gut brain, so thank you for that. And it's really critical. Your gut is literally the mini brain. If your gut function is down, it absolutely hurts your brain. But there's a couple other things you need to understand about the gut. When she was talking about, Mariah, when you were talking about eating foods that are bad for you, okay, not to jump on that, like the sugars and processed foods, it creates a gut that becomes leaky and porous. And that means that you let things into your body that you shouldn't. But there's another really bad side effect of that, and that's the blood-brain barrier, the thing that protects your brain from nasty things in your bloodstream. It also gets porous because the two are very connected. So what happens is, as you eat those poor foods and your gut barrier starts to go, so does your brain barrier. And that starts to really affect you. And you can get into things like autoimmune diseases, like arthritic stuff, like rheumatoid arthritis, and all sorts of nasty things you don't want to get to. But again, when we're talking to a group and we're talking about anxiety and depression, you really have to look after your brain and eat the right foods and do all those things. But that's just another tip that you may not have heard of before. So I'm just here to throw some extra things to you. So I won't spend much more time. There's a couple other things that I recommend, and these are more for patients that are older, so that most of you don't have this problem. And that's digestion. You can digest your foods if you put good foods and you can break it down and you get the good nutrients from it. But let's just say you don't have a good gut function. What I suggest you do is you take digestive enzymes. So everybody should be on a digestive enzyme if you're over. Is there anybody in this audience that's over 40? Okay? So I recommend that you take a digestive enzyme. Because as we get older, we lose the ability to release the enzymes that break down our food. And then our foods don't get digested and we don't get the same nutrients from them. Okay? So the two digestive enzymes are liver-based. This is your liver. And what the liver does is it breaks down fats, butters, creams, meats, proteins, the big things. Your liver's primarily dealing with those. And then our friend here, the pancreas, okay, like a finger-looking thing, it digests primarily the carbohydrates. So the breads, the nuts, cereals, rice, that sort of thing, the pancreas. So if you eat a lot of, I tell patients one of two things. Eat the digestive enzyme that you eat more food of. If you eat a lot of fats and you eat a lot of those kind of foods, then you should have the liver-based. If you eat a lot of grains and cereals and things, then you should definitely take the pancreatic enzyme, okay? And the thing about it is you can buy ones that have both in them, but they're very expensive. Okay? So digestive enzymes are critical for people that have had concussions. It helps you get over it. They're critical for people that have mental health issues because what it's going to do is it's going to help you to produce more neurotransmitters and get you out of depression and stuff. So again, we get into anxiety and depression. And by the way, when you say you're not alone, you should understand that anxiety and depression now are the #1 reason why people see a medical doctor in North America. #1. Overtook the common cold and flu about 7 years ago. The #1 prescribed medication in the world is Paxil. Does anybody know what Paxil is? It's an antidepressant and an anti-anxiety medicine. So you've got the #1 reason people go to medical doctors today is for anxiety and depression. #1. So a lot of people have it, okay? And it's important that we start to understand that, but we should have more than just medications to help people with brain. That's why I'm here tonight, to share with you some very simple things and that you can do. I mentioned earlier complex and planar motion. So that's just, motion that's planar is just when you're walking. You're not really thinking too much, it's very reflexive. Complex motions are when you actually do things like a figure eight, or I'm balancing when I'm doing some kind of exercise. Complex motions fire the brain up. Planar motions bring it down. So we use that in our treatments all the time. And if I want to fire my left brain, which hands am I using again? The opposite side. What's the only thing that doesn't cross over? Smell. Okay, so if you understand that, everything else is pretty easy. If I want to do the left brain, which ear do I listen to more on? The right side. You got it. And that's the formula I want you to use. Okay? Now, one of the things that we all need to understand is what does the brain do mostly? The brain is a movement muscle. I want you to think about this. From an evolution point of view, there's a sea creature, a sea urchin, and what it does is it swims around and finds a really nice rock and it says, I really like this place, and it basically cements itself to the rock, and for the rest of its life, it just uses the motion of the ocean to move. And guess what it does with its brain? No, it digests it. It eliminates it. The brain is primarily a movement organ. That's what it's there for. And to move, you need 3 things. you need good posture, you need good balance, and you need a good gait. So what I'll do tonight, and what I do with all my patients, the first thing we work on is balance. So when somebody has a concussion, that's the first thing I look for, is do you have good balance? And during our breakout tonight, if anybody's interested, we'll test your balance. And if you do have a problem, we'll show you a couple quick little tips you can do to fix that. Posture, that takes exercise and things, is beyond today's discussion. I can't get into it. And gait, we can do a little fun gait exercise, and you can see how many of you are doing it properly. The other thing that we love to do when I brought them in tonight is we use colors and tonics. We use different colored glasses to stimulate your brain and will help it. So the neat thing about this is that red colors, you should know, is primarily on the left. So if you want to stimulate your left brain, red. You can wear red, you can eat red, and you can look through red. You can use glasses, it's very powerful. Then you can use purple for right brain. So purple and blues are right brains. So you can do that. So I brought some colors, and if you guys want to play for when we're doing our little breakout, we can put the glasses on and I can show you how it makes your balance better, your coordination better, everything. We use these with athletes, and we use it for rehab. So it's the cutting edge stuff. We have a lot of fun with different therapies, but it's all very simple. And you can literally, if you want to get your red brain, your left brain firing more, you can put some red clothing on it. It will help fire your left side of your brain. And then the other colors for left side are yellow and orange, and blues and purples are on the right, and greens are dead in the middle. So the green fires both brains. Just kind of keep that in mind depending on what you want to do with the patient, okay? Or yourself. That's my contact information. If any of you have any questions or something afterwards, please feel free to call me, and we can set something up and I can talk to you about any of the information we did today. I've got a lot of stuff on our website too that you can learn from. So I'm going to cut short here today because we've kind of gone over, and we'll leave extra time to do that. Okay. So I guess
Let's do the question portion. Do you want to ask them a question? Go to TikTok, Carion, F as in, see, fabulous ENN.
First person.
Okay, so my first question will be, I mentioned something that helps people to get better gut function, and it's a type of something. There's two types. I just want to get what those are.
I'll tell you when they comment. Nothing yet.
Well, the hint is one comes from the liver and one comes from your pancreas.
Go ahead. Audrey said enzymes.
That's it. Yeah, digestive enzymes. That's it. So that's excellent. Thank you. That's a tougher question. Okay.
Audrey said what?
Enzymes.
Audrey got it? Oh, wow. Would you like the earbud or a gift card? Which one? Which one? Did you get a PlayStation before? No, my brother. There you go. Oh, it's your second one. That's what I was asking. What's your check me? Young people, eh? Next question.
What's the only sense that does not cross over in the brain? The only pure sense we have.
Who's asking the question? The answer, Ron? Nothing yet?
I don't see anything. No.
What did you type?
You got it. That's right.
You on the right page?
Okay, I see. Nishka said nose.
That's Nishka. What did you type? Smell? Yeah? No. Hold on. Who typed it first? Smell, enzyme. Is that Darshan? What's the answer?
Smell.
Who's the first one to say?
Smell is the only sense that doesn't cross over.
Can I see yours? Did you type smell? Oh. Who got thought? Who would have thought? Okay, so we'll. Who was the other person? I think. Sorry? What? What were you showing me?
I thought I said mine. Smell.
Can I see your phone?
You would have a lot of fun. Come on.
Huh?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, hold on. It's not showing.
That's not a problem on this.
Huh?
That's not a problem on this. It's a problem on TikTok. in the comments.
Let's try this again. You're all not getting no prize. I can't figure it out. Let's try one more time. Another question. Then we'll go into the breakout session. We'll take a quick break and then we'll go into the breakout session. Another question.
Yeah, so we talked about the importance of sleep, and I mentioned that there's something you can do before you go to sleep at night that will really help you brain to get ready for sleep. Something you listen to.
Ron, who's first? So
Army.
regardless where you fall, it's the first person Ron sees.
Army.
Who's it?
Army.
Who's Army?
Me.
You.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Listening to theater music.
Yes, they did, and it's called buy your own beats. It means there's two, it's a fancy word to say there's two beats, so basically you have the music, and then embedded is this theta wave.
Did you get it right?
Yeah, and theta waves are 8 to 12 hertz, just so you know, that's the, okay, I like giving things away. You get it hard, you give me.
Let's do one more, then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll go to the breakout session. One more question.
Yes, that's a good one. Yeah, how fast that's a great one. How fast does the average human being run? There are a couple of people that can go a little bit faster, maybe downhill, but the average human being runs how many kilometers an hour?
Fago said 18.
There you go, 18 is correct.
Who said it?
Fago.
Who's Fago? Where are these names coming from?
There you go.
Who are you? It's so interesting to see the real name and then the name that they use to hide from parents. Thank you guys so much. So we'll take a 3-minute break. There are pops and water and some light refreshment over there. And then after that, we need half the people on this table and half the individual on this table. And if we can have one expert sitting in the middle chair towards the back on each side, okay? And then we'll go into the breakout session. 3 minutes. Yeah. Oh, do you wanna pause and then? That's what everybody's saying. He's so interested. Yes, sir?
I have lots of notes.
What is it? Am I plugged in right now or no? Do you know how long I stayed up? I've been up for 18 hours. Just to get my exam done. 18 hours. Just to do an exam.
No, don't do that, man. Don't do that.